Alright guys, wrapping up day 3 here at First Earth, doing some flint napping. Got a couple nice little shards, just in about 15-20 minutes of beating on it. It's hard work, there's no doubt, but got some, see if I can get that there, some pretty nice edges. If I had to, I could cut a lot of things with them. Talked a lot about rock identification, which was huge. This is one of my favorite pieces that I got. Let's see if I can catch it at a different angle for you. There we go. It's a nice sharp piece. Really happy with it. Now we're just kicking back, having some fun at the river, getting wet, having a good time. I think that's pretty much it for the class. Going to finish it up, I think, messing around with a little bit of primitive bows and the Atlatl. So have a little fun with that before we head out. And great week. I want to thank Bo Brown and Michael Morgart. Awesome guys, man. We had a great time. Really enjoyed myself, and well worth the effort and money to come out here. So I encourage you guys to come check it out. First Earth Wilderness School up here in just outside of Buffalo, Missouri. Tunas, Missouri, I think is the actual city. Just outside of that, at the lead mine reservation area. It's beautiful out here, and just can't I just can't celebrate it enough how great they've been out here in the hospitality.
You can pronounce it Atlatl, or you can pronounce it Atlatl. You'll hear both ways. I like Atlatl just because I think it sounds a little goofier. Atlatl. I like to just go against the flow, and it seems like most folks say Atlatl because it rolls off the tongue easier.
Is that a couple arrows, or is that a shaft actually, aluminum shaft that actually was cut that long?
No, you're right. This is actual aluminum arrow shafting. If you want to get into actual hunting with these, and Missouri is the second state in the U.S. to allow Atlatl hunting for deer season. You can legally hunt deer. Broadhead on there. So the Atlatl is the actual throwing device. Archaeological. These were used on every continent at one time, and these predate bow and arrow on every continent. They're around for several thousand years before bow and arrows were found in any sites. This one's got, I think, either a bone or a maybe an antler tip that's been sinewed on the end. That's pretty common. You can have finger grips. You can have it flat. You can have it square. You can have them round. You can have there's different styles of holding them. You can throw it like this with the finger grips. You can use just a regular overhand grip. They kind of divide up, even the ones they find. There's another one here. You can kind of maybe pass them around and have a look. Basically, there's two different styles. There's the raised point, and there's the kind where you actually cut the point down into the wood, where the point's basically inlaid. You can kind of divide up all the different Atlatls into those two styles, either the raised point or the inlaid point. Folks have taken deer with them. So you're basically just hooking the back on there. And I will probably miss the whole target. Mostly just kind of pay attention to how much force it comes out off with, not necessarily the accuracy.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of force. We have distance competitions, and there's guys throwing these over 100 yards.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's way back there by the...
Are they throwing something that's a 400 grain tip on it too?
They've got two different classes for these events. They've got like a traditional class where your stuff's got to be kind of like that, and they've got like an open class where you can be sort of throwing aluminum or graphite. I mean, some of these guys get into, graphite with a certain amount of flex to it, bends, and super skinny graphite, light tipped, and little bitty fletching on the back. And I've been to competitions, when they throw it, you can see it for about 2 seconds, and then you can't even track it with your eye anymore. And you just got to walk down in the field and look for it till you find it to see how far it went. Because it goes that fast and that far.
Ooh, wow. Nice.
squeezing here too?
Famous.
I get a full grip with the rest of those fingers. Go all the way around, like that. Like a full grip.
Like that?
Yeah, these 3 fingers all the way around.
All the way around.
Grab it just like this. Just like you're going to beat somebody to death. Now don't move nothing but those 2. Yep.
Oh, okay.
You gotta make
Now,
a
what
noise.
about my wrist? It's kind of bent sideways to be perpendicular. Is that okay?
Shouldn't matter. It's just everybody develops their own technique.
Get the
Make a
whole
primitive noise when you throw
motion
it.
sign.
Right.
Guttural noise when you throw it. Yeah, that like that. It helps.
See?
That's good. Go ahead. Come on up.
Yes.
Go, try again.
If you do too much force, will it throw it off and mess it up?
Not if you're releasing at the right point.
I think I released.
You can throw as hard.
Wrong.
Them guys are doing distance throws. They're throwing as hard as they can possibly
have one?
throw.
They have one?
Oh, look at that.
Hey, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was pretty.
2X?
I'm gonna have to like shrink him.
Like you can make something like this in half an hour.
Was that a green cedar or?
Yeah, it's got a line in it.
Yeah,
Like,
a lot of them they're doing out of green cedar
I didn't put
how long are they good for? Till they break. Depending on how fast they dry out, and what the humidity changes in them, and yeah, it varies a lot. Depending on what size stick you start with, how strong a draw is.
That one's way bigger than
Got a lot to do with how soon it'll break. They're temperamental.
You got bit.
That's a fact.
Yes,
I've broken many of them
I got stung a while ago.
within the first hour of trying to make. I've broken many of them before I got to where I was even finished with it. But the thing is, you've only got 20 minutes invested, so you invest 20 minutes in another one, see if it works better. And then you get into this is, I don't think this is Osage, but you can spend hours and hours shaping a piece of wood down. You can do it with primitive tools or modern tools or whatnot. And again, the thing with this, you can end up with 100 hours invested in this, and you can still get it back to full draw and it'll snap and break. Just like that if it's got some flaw or weak point in the wood. So they're kind of temperamental. To get it to work efficiently, it's kind of like the Atlatl. You got to have the right bow and the right arrow matched to each other. Arrows come in different stiffness, and the stiffer the arrow is for a higher poundage bow, basically. Because you want all arrows are going to have some flex. So the stiffer the arrow, the higher poundage bow you can shoot with it kind of accurately. So if you're shooting right-handed, the way I teach is just hold the bow with the back of your hand up like that. It's kind of an easy way to, because a lot of people get confused about what side of the grip. So if you're holding the bow with the back of your hand up, then the arrow goes on top of the bow. That keeps you from getting confused. Back of your hand up and just lay the arrow on top. And most of these, I think they'll have some kind of little notch.
Yeah.
Because the trick with archery, and I got a busted arrow rest already. Shoot, that's all right. Archery is just about doing the exact same thing over and over. If you do anything different, the arrow's going to go somewhere different. There's guys that trick shoot, and I mean they'll shoot behind your back and do all kind of stuff. You just got to do it over and 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 over.
Just got to do the same thing twice.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you do the exact same thing twice, if you do the exact same thing twice, the arrow will almost go in the exact same hole. That's pretty much what it amounts to. It will. As long as, that's the other thing. The 2 arrows have to be exactly the same. The exact same stiffness. If I try and shoot this wooden arrow and then that aluminum arrow and then that carbon arrow, even if I do everything exactly the same, them arrows are going to go way different places. So, and that's the trick with the primitive stuff. Not only, you spend all this time making the bow, you've got to get arrows that are exactly matched if you want them to shoot the same. They got to be perfectly straight. They got to be pretty much the exact same stiffness, or they're not going to fly the same. And it's going to be hard for you to get any kind of practice in where you're going to get consistent.
I don't know what that is.
So, you'll see guys that'll be shooting and they won't have anything on the string. So one time they go to shoot an arrow and they got the arrow on the string about like that. And then the next time they go to shoot an arrow, they got the arrow up there. And next time they got it up there. Well, all three of those arrows are going to go drastically different places. Right? And I'll be preaching to the choir if you shot bow before, but it's about doing the exact same thing over and over and having to make sure you got the bow or the arrow the exact same place on the string every time. Is part of that, doing the exact same thing over and over. And again, you can get accurate shooting like this as long as you can do the same thing over and over. The trick, like most of the archery instruction classes, you want to figure out a way, the easiest way to do it is the way you're going to be able to repeat over and over. Right? If you're standing awkward, if you're half crouched one time and stand up the next and your body's straight on, it's harder to do it the exact same way the next time or the next week when you go out and try and kill a deer, because you're not going to be doing the same thing. So if you can get to where you're holding the bow the same way, you're drawing it back to the same spot on your face or wherever you want to pull it to, and you're standing the same way, and then you're letting go the same way, the arrows will all pretty much fly the same way. In theory, it's a piece of cake. It's real simple. Just do the same thing over and over, and they'll all go in the same hole.
I think the thing that I took the most from this is I've always had a desire to do primitive skills, but just hanging around Bo and Michael just really brought a whole new appreciation for it, that I really feel like this is the avenue and direction that I want to go with my training. And so I love a lot of the gear, but I love the first earth, the roots of everything that we're doing out here, making primitive blades and making primitive fire, and talking about conservation. You don't hear a lot about that with some of these schools, but we talked a lot about conservation and respecting the land, and I really appreciated that part of it. I took the most from that. And the surprising thing is, I think I used my knife like one time this entire week, and that was mainly to split the fireboard for the bow drill. Other than that, we used primitive tools, and I really think that's going to be the greatest things I took away from this weekend. So great time. I want to thank all my family and my friends and everybody who's subscribed to this channel, and I look forward to making new videos. They're playing in the background, wrapping up the weekend. So I want to thank everybody again for the awesome opportunity that you guys give me to shoot videos and come out here and enjoy the outdoors. So until next time, this is Justin with Dirt Time Adventures. I look forward to training with you again.